Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to use tailscale, a connectivity platform, to connect two devices regardless of which network they are and where they are located. This video took a long time because I had some exams in between, semester exams. So now, what is a tailscale? Tailscale is a connectivity platform that helps devices connect together. They have a long article blog about how tailscale works. It is pretty amazing blog, and the concept is also pretty amazing. If you want to go through this blog, you can go through it and understand it. But today we are going to use it and actually connect two devices together. For that, you have to create an account on tailscale. After you have created your tailscale account, during the initial login process, they will ask you to add a machine, but I have already completed that process and I skip that machine adding process. And if you also skip that process, you will land onto the main console, admin console of tailscale. From here you can start connecting your devices. Now, just basics about how we connect to devices. When we want to connect to a device, we need an IP address. For example, this device has an IP address of 31.2 on my particular network. And if your device also have a particular IP on your network, they both cannot directly talk to each other because these IP addresses are not public IP addresses. When we visit some website, the website server has a public IP address to which our request goes and we can talk to them. But in local scenario, local devices do not have a public IP address, they have a private IP address. So two devices on two different private network cannot talk to each other. But what if we want to connect them together? What if we want to talk to the device which is also inside a private network? So to do that, we can use tailscale. So for this demonstration, I have two VM1 and VM2. Consider these devices to be on a different network. Maybe you are in office and your other device is in your home, for example, but the process is same. So now you start by adding device. You can add a client device, for example, your phone, Windows, anything like that. But in case if you have a Linux server, just access with a terminal, you can directly click on the Linux server device and generate an install script. Copy this install script and make sure that curl is installed in that machine. In this case, I do have. Paste this command and press enter. And similarly, I will also do for VM2. Now let's go back and add another device and generate another install script. I will do the same thing here as well. Now both of them will install tailscale and set up the server. As you can see, it is running tailscale up, and by now VM1 should have tailscale installed. Yeah, as you can see, we have VM1 added to our tailscale network. Now VM2 is also completed. If we do again tailscale status, we can see VM2, the other device, is also connected. Now they both have an IP address. This IP address is not public IP address. This IP address only works when you are connected to tailscale. Remember, tailscale is still not a VPN. You are directly connecting to the other device through the magic of NAT traversal. So still they do not have a public IP address. Now, if I want to, okay, before that, let's see IP address. Now you can see it created a new interface on our device, tailscale 0 on both of our devices. Now, any request that we make to the other device on the tailscale network, it will go through this interface. Now, if I refresh on my tailscale account, I can see VM1 and VM2. Now both of them have their own IP address. I can use this IP address while I am connected to tailscale. I can talk to each other directly. For example, I am in VM1 and the IP address of VM2 is this one. Now if I do ping and the IP address of VM2, voila, it is directly connecting to the device and we are able to ping. So if there is any server running on this VM2, we can directly connect to that using this IP address. And the same thing goes with VM1 as well. If I do ping an IP address of VM1, it will also successfully ping. Now it is a very convenient connectivity between two devices, because you just install tailscale and magically they have an IP address which they can use to connect to the other device. Isn't that magical? So now you can see the connected devices using the tailscale status command. Easy. Now every device has a name. This is the host name of that device, VM1 and VM2. I can also directly connect to them using their name. For example, if I ping VM2 here, still I can connect to that. That is because Telescale also provide DNS service. That DNS service is there to connect to devices using name. For example, the default Telescale DNS is this one, but for you it will be different. Any subdomain after this main domain will be assigned to that devices. For example, vm1 dot tailscale27 dot ts dot net. So that is what you saw here. In this case, vm2 dot tailscale this dot ts dot net. This is the domain for to reach VM2 in Telescale network. Now, how convenient it is. Just ping VM1, done. Just ping VM2, done. They can directly connect to each other. It is particularly useful in many scenarios. For example, your CI/CD pipeline, you may want to connect to your infrastructure for just brief moment for CI/CD pipeline. So instead of providing any kind of SSH keys or any kind of port forwarding, you can directly use Telescale to momentarily connect your CI/CD to your infrastructure and maybe do deployments, whatever it is. It became very easy for two devices to connect together. Doesn't matter which network they are, where they are located, whether it is a public network or private network, doesn't matter. They can connect to each other through the IP address provided by Telescale. So now, yeah, that is for this video. If you want to learn more, they have a very detailed blog how NAT traversal works and how tailscale works. I think I suggest you to read about how tailscale works because it is a pretty amazing idea. It is very different from traditional VPNs and you can read it. It is not very long as NAT traversal. So yeah, this much for this video. I will see you in the next one. Keep watching.